Taljaard and I'm 28 years old, currently living in South Africa, and this is my introductory video for the position of teaching English through storytelling at BookTalk Hong Kong. I have obtained my Bachelor's of Science degree in Human Genetics through the University of Pretoria in 2010. Since then, I have also completed a short course through the University of Stellenbosch in Geospatial Information Sciences. I've been practicing as an environmental consultant in George, South Africa since September 2013. The National Environmental Management Act of South Africa is a piece of legislation that regulates how development and personal activity affects the environment. My main job is obtaining approval from the Department of Environmental Affairs for certain developments to take place and ensuring that this development happens in an environmentally friendly way. I would say my job is a balance between in-office and out-of-office. My in-office duties include compiling environmental impact assessment reports, as well as liaising with potential interested and affected parties who have comments or concerns regarding a development that might take place. My out-of-office duties include site inspections, where I will be working with engineers and contractors to make sure that what they are doing is done in an environmentally friendly way and is in compliance with their environmental management plans. Due to the fact that I would have to resign my current position and work a month's notice, as well as obtain a work visa, I would expect the soonest that I would be able to start would be mid to end March. Very little knowledge of living costs in Hong Kong. This is a difficult question for me to answer. I would expect my salary to cover my living costs, such as food, rent, transport, etc., as well as hopefully enabling me to enjoy my time in the country, such as entertainment and sightseeing. Any additional money that I could potentially save for the end of the contract would be beneficial. From some research that I've done, I see that a standard salary for teaching English in Hong Kong is anywhere between 20 to 24,000 Hong Kong dollars a month, and this is what I would expect, and hopefully it would cover the aforementioned. My family and I have experience with expats and expat living. I was exposed to this at a very young age when we moved to Zimbabwe at the age of 6, where I started my formal schooling at a British private school. This was one of the best experiences of my life, where you actually learn how different people are and how different culture groups are, and to value them for those differences. Since then, my family has continued their expat lifestyle. My parents have lived in Kyrgyzstan for 3 years, where I had the privilege of visiting them while I was at varsity, and my dad to this day still works as an expat in Burkina Faso, in an African country. In my early 20s, I made a list of 40 things that I would like to do before the age of 40, and one of the items on this list was living and working overseas for at least 1 year. The reason why I added this to my list was, firstly, I love traveling and I love seeing different places, but I also believe that you can really learn something different from different people. There's always something valuable to know and be known from a different culture group, and by exposing yourself to that for that environment for at least 1 year, I think you could really maximize that benefit. When I came across your advertised position, it really resonated with me, because your premise on which you teach English through storytelling and creative storytelling and reading is really personal to me. I love reading. I started reading at the age of 3, and I love creative use of your imagination and actually bringing across a message through your imagination. I've carried the love of reading through with me for my whole life, and I actually believe that it's helped me achieve my degrees and education that I did at stages that I did, as everything that was a story could be made sense of. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end. I love children, and I love seeing them develop and how they make sense of their world. They're like little sponges. And I feel that what you are doing would be a privilege to be a part of, to actually help them make sense of their world and sort of passively imparting knowledge to them while they're enjoying it. And it's an actual tool that they would be able to use for the rest of their lives. For that reason, I believe that this position would be a very, very good match for both of us, and it would be a privilege to move there.
When I was a little girl, living in an African country called Zimbabwe, we visited a special kind of place with my family called a game lodge. We stayed in little round huts with grass roofs and stone walls. All around us was a magical world filled with all kinds of big and small animals. We saw a giraffe with a very long neck, standing on his tippy toes to eat leaves off of a tree. We saw an elephant with a very long nose giving herself a shower in the river right next to a crocodile who gave us a big smile. I was told that in the river in front of our little house there was a special type of fish called a tiger fish because they had sharp teeth like tigers. My daddy gave me a fishing rod and I sat quietly on the bank of the river enjoying the water and the sunshine when all of a sudden a hippopotamus peeped at me through the reeds. It opened its big mouth and yawned. I got such an awful fright that I left the fishing rod right there and ran back to our hut like the wind. Every morning, little African bush pigs called warthogs came to greet us looking for food. They would look through the dirt for worms and roots and gobble them down. One night, we were walking to the dining room when out of the dark, a big black bird ran straight to us and fell at my dad's feet. It was an ostrich, black like the night with white-tipped wings. It wanted my dad to have a ride on its back. We all laughed so hard the ostrich ran away. After dinner, we sat around a big fire under the starry night. I was tired after the long day, and I started to fall asleep. All of a sudden, I felt a furry mouth nibbling at my knee. When I opened my eyes, I could see it was a brown spotted baby hyena wanting to play with me. She was hungry and looking for some milk. The people at the game lodge were looking after her. They brought the little baby hyena some of her special milk in a baby bottle, and she drank until she fell asleep. And that is the story of how I made friends with a hippo, a warthog, an ostrich, and a hyena.